Awesome. So this is James from the Executive Director's Desk at Back Bay, and we're on a work site here at New Build. And students from Catawba and from Heidelberg. So do you want to share where you're from, your names, and yeah, we'll start there. Paul?
Paul Citizen Stark. I'm chaplain at Heidelberg University.
Jonathan Bowles, Associate Director at Catawba College.
I'm Jocelyn Everett. I'm a student at Heidelberg University.
Lillian Whitcomb. I'm also a student at Heidelberg.
Don Krensline. I am an advisor with Heidelberg.
So what's been most impressionable for you to be here this week? Jonathan, why don't you start, and then we'll let the two girls go.
I think what's been really cool for me, and I also do a lot of service work at my institution, but I think it's really cool how service brings people together and creates unity. I've seen it. This is our first time with Back Bay, Catawba College anyway, and it's really been cool for us to be able to be in community with Heidelberg, and then also in the community of Back Bay and down here in Biloxi. So I think that's something that has really left a big impression on me and continues to do so, that unity piece and just loving on people and doing good work.
I like that, loving on people.
Yeah.
That's great. That's very typical Southern Street.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna love on you, right?
That's right.
Do you want to share a little bit? You were kind of one of the organizers for Heidelberg.
Yeah.
Student organizer.
So I'm actually the alternative break coordinator at Heidelberg, which means I get to plan all this. I'm a big details person, which is great when you're planning. And then when you get down to it and you're actually doing it, it gets a little scary because everyone wants something else. And I think this week the biggest thing is when I finally get to the work site, I can just focus on the work and I can really give myself time to think about what I'm doing instead of what we're going to be doing. I can live in the moment. And it makes me appreciate, you always hear it, I appreciate the little things, but I'm aware every time there's a breeze because I'm enjoying it, you know.
Yeah.
When I get home and take a shower, it's so nice to just be in that shower and I can just live in that moment rather than waiting for the next.
So gratitude for things that sometimes we take for granted.
Absolutely.
Being in the moment. It's powerful. How about you?
I think everyone's willingness to teach and share their knowledge throughout this whole thing. Right, Don's one of our more skilled individuals on the trip, and he's taught me how to use so many of these tools, how to put drywall up, and even simple things like I've never made eggs before, and I made a frittata this morning that Paul taught me about.
Cool.
So if it's on the work side, if it's in our dormitories, stuff like that, just everyone's willing to teach.
Yeah. Well, there's something unique about getting out of your normal everyday routine as a college student, right?
Yeah.
Or you folks working with students and coming and just enveloping and engulfing yourself in something, right? Like this and in service, because it really does transform. Like, we have no idea who's going to purchase this house, but you're making a huge difference because we can sell it to somebody living in poverty, right? Who's living at the poverty level. First-time homebuyer, probably. Potentially a single mom with some kids, because you make it possible because you're doing this work that we don't have to have professionals, so to speak, do, right? But we got professionals kind of teaching you and mentoring you, so yeah. So how about the two adult leaders, I guess, what do I call you, sponsors?
We're all adults.
You're all adults. The older adults.
Yes, the older adults.
Yeah.
It's just a thrill to be a part of it and to see students lead and plan and design and lead a trip. Lily planned the trip last year and was unable to last minute to come. Yeah. And we had a great trip last year. We've had a great trip this year, and our students teach us, and our students also are able to learn more about the populations that Back Bay Mission serves. And for the first time, I went to the Micah Day Center last year after coming down here 5 years, and that was incredible to see that, and to see the food pantry and how that operates, and to see just all the different services that Back Bay does. And then the other exciting part was coming with Catawba this year and trying to reach out to more universities to bring student groups down, because that's really our vision is seeing more schools come and participate in this, and it's been awesome. And it's awesome for our universities to be together. We've learned so much from each other. Yeah. Because we each bring strengths, and so it's been a fantastic learning experience.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I think for me, I've been doing this since 2012 with Heidelberg. I'm blessed to be asked to come back every year with Heidelberg. It's very rewarding to go out and work on a job site with the students, to teach them something that they may not know about, and something that maybe they can use in the future on their own home or with a family member, you know, suggest, hey, try this or try that. I was saying yesterday, it was very encouraging to hear students talking about they want to come back next year. Back Bay's had an influence on them to where they want to come back next year. Like Paul said, you know, I've been on the job site every single year because of all the skills I have. You know, I just want to be here and help out as much as I can. I got the opportunity to go to Micah Day Center and walk the food pantry, Loaves and Fishes, and actually see what goes on down here. Until you actually see it firsthand, you really can't grasp how the homeless are, you know, what they go through, why they're there, and just to help out and hopefully make their day a little better for them. And I told the students, you know, even if you come to the job site and you only paint a couple boards for the day, that's one more thing that's done on the list. That's one more thing that's changing somebody's life.
Yeah.
So I think Heidelberg, I think Back Bay, and I can't wait to be coming back next year.
Now, I'm going to add one more thing because the preacher is coming out of me. And that, you know, Back Bay comes out of, you know, the Christian tradition in the sense of, you know, loving your neighbor as love God, love yourself. But for me, what I've also learned is that we all come with narratives of service. And we always bring students who are from many different traditions. Students have been Muslim, Jewish. We've had students who are atheists, agnostic, and everyone comes with a desire to serve. And we all come from our stories where we have been served and where we see the need to serve others. And I continue to see the mutuality of service, and we learn from those we serve, and you know, they are serving us in many ways too. Because we always learn so much from those who are homeless, and seeing the incredible fortitude and strength that they have to keep going with all the obstacles that they have. And I think, you know, for me, I keep learning that any kind of judgment towards people who go through homelessness doesn't really have a place. And because if love is there, you know, we need to love and come beside and hear their narrative, their story, our stories, and grow through that and build community through that, the beloved community that Dr. King talks so much about.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that Dr. King talked about, beloved community, right? And we're in this together. We're all human. We're all divine in our own right, and everybody really is equal. And I think that's one of the things as I've done this work around homelessness or on shelter in various settings is that I've recognized, right? We all have a story, we all have a place we come from, and we're all where we're at for whatever reasons, right? And that's not important. What's important is we recognize our common humanity. And man, if we could challenge human beings to just give and volunteer and serve, right? And if we could have this groundswell of service, we change the world, and we are, and you are, right? But if we could even do it on a bigger level, it'd be amazing. Just transform our culture, transform ourselves, and let go of stuff so that others can have, right? Yeah. So the preacher came off with it. Yeah. Thank you all for being here. It's really important, and yeah, I really look forward to you coming back and seeing how we can make the experience better, what we've experienced this year, how can we make that better for us all together, because you changed my life. I don't get to interact a lot with you, but just to see your excitement and your joy changes my life. And some of the stories that you bring change my life, right? Your history. Because we all have that, and we can all share that together and transform each other. So thank you.
And if you work in higher ed, we want to see you at Back Bay Mission.
Good job, Jonathan. That's great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.